2 years apart.
Good evening, everyone. Call the City Council to order at 8 p.m. on Monday evening, June 17, 2024. This meeting is being recorded. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We have 13 items on this evening's agenda, and I will ask the clerk to please read agenda item number 1.
Minutes of the City Council meeting June 3rd, 2024.
Councilor Brown.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to accept and place on file the minutes.
Motion made and second to accept and place on file the minutes. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The meeting minutes are filed 11-0. Agenda item number 2.
Now is the time for the public hearing on the petition of Mass Electric and Verizon New England to install one joint-owned pole at 100 Lock Drive at a point approximately 1,256 feet northwest of the center line of the intersection of Elm Street, installing new pole 7-50, which will be 45 feet between poles 7 and 8. A new KVR cap bank will be installed on this pole. Order number 24-100-9194.
Okay, this public hearing will be taken up in 4 stages. First, for the public speaking in favor. Second, questions from the public. Third, public speaking in opposition. And finally, questions from the City Council. So I'll open the first part of the public hearing with the public speaking in favor, starting with the applicant. Now, come on up.
Hello, Al Galvin, engineer, National Grid Electric. We are installing a new intermediate pole for this capacitor bank to do some sensing on the voltage levels in that area. The current poles that were out there, they couldn't use either because of angles or other equipment being on the poles, and they also need a straight run of three poles consecutively, so they have a nice clean run. So that's the need for this. And this is a nice clean spot where it's no sidewalks or impeding on homes or businesses.
Thanks, Al. Any other members of the public speaking in favor? Any other members of the public speaking in favor? Any other members of the public speaking in favor? Hearing none. Well, actually, before I close that part, we do have a communication from the city engineer. I'll ask the city clerk to read.
Yes, sir. From City Engineer Thomas DePercio regarding this order. He's reviewed the petition of Mass Electric and Verizon New England to install one joint-owned pole at 100 Lock Drive. And he has only one comment. The location must be marked up by the engineering division prior to the work, and also to attach the standard conditions that are normally attached.
Thank you, Mr. Kerrigan. Again, any members of the public speaking in favor? Any members of the public speak in favor? Any members of the public speak in favor? Hearing none, I close that portion of the public hearing. Any questions from the public? Questions from the public? Questions from the public? Hearing none, I close that portion of the public hearing. Public speaking in opposition? Any members of the public speak in opposition? Members of the public speak in opposition? Hearing none, I close that portion of the public hearing. Questions from the city councilors? Any questions from the city councilors? Hearing none. Questions from the city councilors? No questions from the city councilors. I close that portion of the public hearing and the entire public hearing. Councilor Landers.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I recommend, where there was no objections, no abutters concerned, I motion to approve the petition subject to the conditions submitted by the city engineer, DePercio.
Motion made and seconded to approve the petition subject to the conditions submitted by the city engineer. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The petition is approved 11-0 with the conditions by the city engineer. Al, thank you very much. Agenda item number 3.
Communication from the mayor regarding notification of extension of temporary appointment pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 41, Section 61A of David Williams as interim comptroller treasurer for an additional 60-day term effective June 1st, 2024.
Councilor Navin.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to accept and place on file.
Motion's made and seconded to accept and place on file the communication. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The communication is filed 11-0. Agenda item number 4.
Communication from the mayor regarding notification of extension of temporary appointment pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 41, Section 61A of Theodore L. Scott as interim commissioner of the Department of Public Works for an additional 60-day term effective June 19th, 2024.
Counselor Navin.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to accept and place on file.
Motion made and seconded to accept and place on file the communication. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Communication is filed, 11-0. Agenda item number 5.
Communication from the mayor regarding grant acceptance in the amount of $345,334 from the Board of Library Commissioners awarded to the public library to be used in support of the construction project for the library.
Counselor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to approve the grant, please.
Motion made and seconded to approve the grant. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The grant is approved, 11-0. Agenda item number 6.
Communication from the mayor regarding a transfer request in the amount of $1 million from the undesignated fund to the West Side Fire Station stabilization per condition 16 of the special permit issued to Cameron General Contractors for 96 Crowley Drive.
Counselor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to approve the transfer request in the amount of $1 million from free cash to the West Side Fire Station, please.
Motion made and seconded to approve the transfer of $1 million to the West Side Fire Station stabilization account. Any discussion on the motion? Counselor Doucette.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I was around when this was originally proposed. It's nice to see it coming over. So this is an excellent opportunity for us to basically put more money aside when it comes to doing the fire station. I would consider that we may want to consider sending them a thank you letter, considering where the money's going. So this is an excellent communal support. So thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Doucette. Any other comments from the councilors? On the motion to approve the transfer, all those in favor? Opposed? Transfer carries 11-0. Agenda item number 7.
Communication from the mayor regarding capital bond requests totaling $10,270,000, which includes funding for facility, utility, and street projects throughout the city.
Counselor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to refer to the Finance Committee and to advertise, please.
Motion made and seconded to refer to the Finance Committee and to advertise the bonds. Any discussion on the motion? Counselor Doucette.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I just want to point out there's 2 items on this list that it's specifically related to Ward 2. The Maury Brook repair, that the temporary fix was done last year, which closed Farm Road for a couple of weeks. So this is putting in the long-term fix. I think it's important we do this now before we forget about it. And then also the work on Hager Street, which is the small little segment that's near the the jug handle light on Route 20. It's a very short road. It's embarrassing, that piece of road, before you get into Framingham. And I'm so happy to see it finally on the list. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Counselor Doucette. Any other comments on the motion to refer to Finance and to advertise the bond? All those in favor? Opposed? The item is referred to Finance in advertising the bonds. The vote is 11-0. Agenda item number 8.
Communication from the Planning Board regarding an unfavorable recommendation on the proposed zoning ordinance amendment to Chapter 650 zoning relative to updating provisions regarding medical and adult use marijuana, order number 24-100, 9136.
Counselor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to accept and place on file the communication.
Motion made and seconded to accept and place on file the communication from the Planning Board. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The communication is filed, 11-0. Agenda item number 9.
Communication from Femara, Inc. regarding request for special license for temporary charitable purpose sales pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 101, Section 12A.
Counselor Brown.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to approve the special license.
Motion's made and seconded to approve the request. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The request is approved, 11-0. Agenda item number 10.
Communication from James Hall on behalf of Colbia Enterprises, LLC, regarding a request pursuant to Chapter 342, gasoline stations and car washes, for permission to continue operation at the hours granted at 342 Boston Post Road East.
Counselor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm going to move to give them permission to continue hours of operation, but for 1 year, not the 5 as requested.
Everyone clear on that? So the motion's made and seconded to approve a 1-year extension for the hours of operation. And this is the one across from McGee Farm. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The 1-year extension for hours is approved, 11-0. Agenda item number 11.
Communication from the Selective Service System regarding information on registration requirements for 18-year-old men who are required to register for Selective Service.
Counselor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to accept and place on file the communication.
Motion made and seconded, accept and place on file the communication. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Communication is filed 11-0. Agenda item number 12.
Minutes of boards, commissions, and committees.
Mr. President?
Counselor Doucette.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Motion to accept and place on file the minutes of the boards, commissions, and committees.
Motion made and seconded, accept and place on file all the minutes. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The minutes are filed 11-0. Agenda item 13.
Claims.
Counselor Brown.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to send the claims to legal department, please.
Motion made and seconded to send the claims to the legal department. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The claims are going to legal 11-0. Reports of committees. Let's start with L&L. Counselor Brown.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Legislative and Legal Affairs Committee met on Monday, June 10th at 6:30 p.m. The voting members present were myself, Counselor Roby, and Counselor Ficillo. And order number, wow, I brought my readers and I still can't read. That's pretty sad. Order number 24-100-9132, referencing order number 23-100-8936, communication from Mayor Dumas dated April 4th, 2024, with proposed acceptance of deed in lieu of foreclosure concerning parcels of land located off Mosher Lane. The chair read the letter from the mayor. Solicitor Grossfield addressed the mayor's request related to the 4 parcels, 3 located on Hemingway Street and 1 parcel on Mosher Lane, comprising approximately 16 acres and a tax debt of $49,000. Replying to Councilor Ossing's request for a status of Mosher Lane as a public way, Solicitor Grossfield stated the acceptance of these parcels is a good faith effort and the first step in the process to resolve outstanding issues. Motion made by Councilor Roby, seconded by Councilor Ficillo, to recommend approval of the order to accept the title by deed in lieu of foreclosure from Avidia Bank for Parcel A, Map 11-3, Parcel A1, Map 11-40, and Parcel B, Map 10-41, all to be designated as open space as part of the Forest Trail definitive subdivision and controlled by the Marlborough Conservation Committee for the promotion and development of natural resources, watershed protection, passive recreation, and conservation, and to accept title by deed in lieu of foreclosure from Avidia Bank for Parcel B1, Map 1082, and the vote carried 3-0. And order number 24-100-9133, referencing order number 23-100-8948, communication from Mayor Dumas dated April 4th, 2024, with proposed acceptance of easement for a small portion of land at the corner of Hayes Memorial Drive and Boston Post Road West from the property owners of 1000 Nickerson Road for a Welcome to Marlborough sign. The chair read the letter from the mayor. The property owners graciously agreed to this easement during the prior administration, and the welcome sign has already been crafted and finished in conformity with other welcome signs throughout the entrances to the city. There is a state earmark of $22,500 from FY24, which covered the cost of the sign. The final process is City Council approval of the easement. Motion by Councilor Ficillo, seconded by Chair, to recommend acceptance of the easement as submitted. The vote carried 3-0. We adjourned at 6:48.
Thank you, Councilor Brown.
Thank you.
Personnel, next.
Thank you, Mr. President. The City Council Personnel Committee met on June 10th, 2024. We convened at 7:30. All voting members were present, and there were 3 items on the agenda. First up was order number 24-100-9172, communication from Mayor Dumas with the appointment of Mary Lou Vanzini to the Council on Aging for a term 4 years set to expire on May 1st, 2028. Read the mayor's letter dated May 15th, 2024, which highlighted Mary Lou's extensive service to the city of Marlborough, including her time with the Marlborough Public Schools as a graduate of Marlborough High School. She was also an active attendee of the Senior Center. Her extensive community involvement over the years includes the co-founder of the Marlborough Girls Club. She started the MHS All-Nighter. She founded the Citizen Scholarship Foundation, is a member of the Council of Children, and was an elected member of the school committee for 12 years. Motion by Councilor Brown, seconded by the chair, to recommend the approval of the appointment for Mary Lou Vanzini to the Council on Aging for a 4-year term set to expire on May 1st, 2028. The vote was 3-0. Next up was order number 24-100-9190, communication from Mayor Dumas with the appointment of MJ Spagone as the City Collector Assistant Finance Director for a 2-year term effective date of City Council confirmation. Read the letter from Mayor Dumas dated May 30th, 2024. Councilors questioned Ms. Spagone regarding her extensive government service and her efforts to become a certified Massachusetts municipal collector. She's a lifelong resident of Bridgewater with strong ties to her community. Motion by Councilor Brown, seconded by the chair, to recommend approval of MJ Spagone as the City Collector Assistant Finance Director for a 2-year term effective the date of City Council confirmation. That vote was also 3-0. Finally, we had order number 24-100-9157, communication from the mayor with the appointment of Christine Purple as the HR Director for a term to expire 3 years from the date of City Council confirmation. Temporary appointment was effective April 29th, 2024. Read the letter from Mayor Dumas dated May 2nd, 2024. Ms. Purple stated her passion has always been in human resources, and she's very happy to be back here in Marlborough as the HR Director, a position held in the city from March 2021 to November 2022. Having recently worked in the town of Clinton, a town with a population of 15,000. Discussing job descriptions with Councilor Rossing, she confirmed new and revised job descriptions will be submitted to the City Council for approval. She was unaware of the total number of job descriptions, but stated the classification study includes a review of job descriptions for all non-union employees. Motion by Councilor Doucette, seconded by the chair, to recommend approval of the appointment of Christine Purple as the HR Director for a term to expire 3 years from the date of City Council confirmation. That vote was also 3-0. Motion made and seconded to adjourn, and we did so at 8:15 p.m.
Thank you, Councilor Navin.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. The City Council Urban Affairs and Housing Committee met on Monday, June 10th. We took up one order, 24-100-9136, a communication from Assistant City Solicitor Jeremy McManus on behalf of Councilor Roby with proposed zoning amendment regarding medical and adult use marijuana. The chair opened the meeting at 7 p.m. and reviewed the timeline of the council's public hearing on May 6th and the need to vote on this within the 90 days from that date, which is August 4th. As the council doesn't have a meeting until July 22nd and between July 22nd and August 4th, we will need to vote on this on July 22nd. She then read the communication from the planning board after its June 3rd public hearing with its negative recommendation and the reasons described in 5 bullet points. The chair went through the bullet points offering input, noting that the code doesn't currently allow social consumption establishments, and there is no plan with this order to do so in the future. On the point of hours of operation of establishments in Section 3, 650-32M, the chair noted she had erred when developing the amendments and suggested someone move to amend to have the hours be 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. versus 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Discussion occurred on deleting the hours entirely, but no motion was offered. Councilor Doucette moved to amend Section 3, 650-32 by striking 10 a.m. and inserting 9 a.m. in the hours for a marijuana medical treatment center or a marijuana retailer to be open. It was seconded and the vote carried 5-0. Councilor Doucette moved to recommend approval of order number 24-100-9136 as amended. It was seconded and the vote carried 5-0. I am asking for a suspension this evening so this can be referred to the solicitor and then on proper form for our next meeting.
There's been a request from the Urban Affairs Chair for suspension of the rules. All those in favor of the suspension? Opposed? Suspension carries 11-0. Councilor Roby.
Move to refer this to the city solicitor to be put in proper form. Actually, assistant city solicitor, that's who's been helping.
Motion made and seconded to refer the amended decision to the city solicitor be put in proper format for our next meeting. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? It's going to the solicitor to be put in proper format. The vote is 11-0. Councilor Pacello.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to suspend the rules to accept the communication from Dish Wireless.
Motion been made, seconded to suspend the rules to accept the communication from Dish Wireless. All those in favor of the suspension? Opposed? Suspension carries 11-0. Counsel Ficillo.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to refer the special permit request to the Public Services Committee, set a date for a public hearing on July 22nd, and advertise the public hearing.
Motion made and seconded to refer to the Public Services Committee, set a public hearing for July 22nd, and to advertise. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none of those, Counsel Doucette.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. This one is a serious issue that there has to be 450 Boston Post Road East. So they just say Boston Post Road. They don't say east or west.
It's east.
It is east, no, but the advertisements all doesn't have it, so they are bad. They have to fix it. I'd like to see it fixed for the advertisement.
So we'll
Okay. Thank you, sir.
I'm the one who places the advertisement.
That's fine. Okay. Just want to make sure it gets addressed. Thank you.
Thank you, Counsel Doucette. Any other discussions on the motion? So on the motion to refer to public service, set a public hearing for July 22nd, and to advertise. All those in favor? Opposed? It is going to public service with a public hearing on July 22nd, and to advertise. Vote is 11-0. Counsel Navin.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to adjourn.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor? Opposed? We are adjourned at 8:21. Have a good week. Go Celtics.